Good evening, one and all. Today is the 48th talk section webinar series. IEEE Malabar subsection, in association with IEEE Malabar Hub, cordially invite all the participants to the event on the topic Antenna Techniques for 4G 5G Cellular Communication. To make our evening informative about this topic, we have Dr. Jibendu Shekhar Roy, Professor at School of Electronics Engineering, KIIT, University Bhubaneswar. He was a professor in BIT and also worked in ETCE department, Jadavpur University as SRF and CSIR Research Associate, and in University of Limoges, France as a postdoctoral research associate of CNRS in IRCOM. His areas of research are communication engineering, antenna engineering, signal processing applied to smart antenna and wireless communication. He has published about 250 papers in international journals and symposia. He is a member of several engineering and scientific organizations, including ISTE, ICTP Italy, etc. Dr. Roy has been awarded Senior Associate of ICTP by UNESCO for the period 2008 to 2013. With great honor, I invite Dr. Jibendu Shekhar to start with the talk session.
Thank you, madam. Good evening to all of you. My topic is antenna techniques for 4G and 5G cellular communications. I have these are the contents of my presentations, that there will be little bit about introduction, then the cellular environment, then 4G, 5G cellular communication, and different types of antenna techniques for 4G and 5G cellular communications. The antenna techniques are beam steering, beam scanning antenna, diversity antenna, sector antennas, PIMO antennas, smart antenna, SDMA antenna, millimeter wave antennas, and some research issues on antenna techniques for 4G and 5G cellular communications are described here. In cellular communication, there are many techniques to improve the capacity, security, power utilization, etc.
Mr. Sriram, can you please unmute yourself?
But antenna technique is one technique which improves a lot in cellular communication. So presentation highlights that how different antenna techniques improve cellular communication. In the beginning, I am telling you that not so much description about the individual single antennas, because this presentation is only for the antenna techniques, not for single antennas. Therefore, I will not describe so much about not so many things about single antennas like disc antenna, microstrip antenna, dipole antenna, monopole antenna, or discon antenna like this. No, only antenna techniques used to improve the network quality in cellular communication. Then what are 4G and 5G mobile communications? Cellular communication, 4G means broadband high-speed data multimedia services, high mobility, then very sophisticated service which people are expecting, and anytime anywhere service. And you know, LTE is 3G system, that is LTE advance is there in the 4G. Data rate is very high. 5G not precisely defined at all. Some techniques are defined which are important for the 5G in addition to the 4G. No particular specification till date is not defined, but some particular things are, for example, the millimeter wave technology, millimeter wave antenna techniques will be there. That is defined in 5G. So therefore, antenna techniques used in 4G and 5G can't be differentiated distinctly, except very few parts. Therefore, I have written in my title, it is 4G, 5G cellular communication. Then cellular environment. What are the things actually in cellular communication? We know these are the very basic things of the cellular communication. That same frequency should be used number of times in the different cells. We call the frequency reuse. Then channel allocation, fixed channel allocation. Then after fixed channel allocation, then there is FCA, DCA, and hybrid channel allocation. Base stations, what type of base stations? These may be omnidirectional or directional based on the antenna system. Omnidirectional is very old periods of mobile communication. They were using omnidirectional. When the number of subscribers are increased, when the mobile zone becomes smaller cellular zones, then all the base station antennas becoming directional. Then the MS is mobile station, that is our, for example, our mobile handset, that is all maybe fixed, maybe movable. Then there are different types of interference techniques on fadings and time delay spread. Time delay spread increases intersymbol interference. Then cell splitting, microcell, picocell, femtocell, enhanced capacity. All these things are the ingredients of the cellular environment. You see, actually, one signal, this diagram, it is shown that red color, one actually signal with the communication signal, and all these signals are actually interfering signals, because antennas are spreading in space and you cannot restrict it always. Then the basic principle, as I told, the frequency reuse, cell splitting, power control. These are the basic principle. As a frequency reuse, as I have told already, that frequency F1 is used after a certain distance F1 again. That is, we call the frequency reuse on the geographical area based on the minimum interference level. Then network requirements, high spectral efficiency, high data rate, security, location identification, location-based communication, mobility. You know, high demand people now demanding everything through mobile. Even many of you are joining in this Zoom meeting using mobile. Then the antenna, the role of antenna in cellular environment. You see, omnidirectional antenna, when it is used, it is good. It is radiating all the directions equally. But the problem is this, that it is receiving interference from all the directions equally also. So interference coming from all the directions. These are the interference coming from all the directions. That is one problem. But directional antenna, you see, it's had directivity in a particular direction. So it is mainly receiving interference from this direction. Here interference in this direction is effectively nil. No interference in this direction. Then, but what happens actually, you see, delay spread is one very important phenomena in cellular communication. We call the time delay spread. The signals are stretched in time domain due to echo, due to the signals are scattered, reflected from the different human-made scatterer. If directional antenna is there, then for directional antenna, this delay spread is less. And for omnidirectional antenna, delay spread is high. It is shown here, if it is a directional antenna, delay spread is this much. If it is omnidirectional antenna, then delay spread is higher. Delay spread higher means the one signal will superpose in the receiving end with other, creating ISI, intersymbol interference, which is actually reduced by equalizer design. It is expected that most of the times the signal is non-line of sight. When you are inside in home and somewhere, the signal is not line of sight because you are not able to see the tower. You are not able to see the antenna. If you are here inside your home, so you are not able to see this antenna. You are not able to see this antenna. Therefore, most of the times the received signal is non-line of sight. We call the N-loss signal. Then what are the different types of antennas? Different types of antennas, not the individual antennas. One, we need narrowband antenna. It operates over a very small frequency band. Then there is broadband antenna, operates over a wide band. This is the broadband antenna. The bandwidth is very high from here to here. Then multi-frequency antenna. multi-frequency antenna operates over a many bands. This is one band, this is one band, this is another band. For example, in your mobile, you are communicating with somebody using GSM, at the same time using Bluetooth. Frequency bands are different. For GSM 800 to 900 megahertz, whereas Bluetooth is 2.4 gigahertz. Therefore, multi-frequency antenna is needed. That in lower frequency, it is for talking and any other services. And for Bluetooth, it is higher frequency 2.4 gigahertz. That is equal to the multi-frequency antenna. Multiple beam antenna, which is very urgent in 5G wireless communication, because simultaneously data will be transmitted using number of beams. It shows the multiple beam antennas. This work is very important. Generally, beamformer network, which is equal to 90% cases in all over the world, the beamformer network is this Butler matrix. This is the combination of number of power dividers and the phase shifters. So Butler matrix is used for the beamforming. Therefore, this is one beam, this is another beam, this is another beam. Multiple beam can be generated. So if it is possible, the same signal can be transmitted now number of times to the different users. This is very urgent for the 5G. So I have cited one important paper here in the multibeam antenna technology for 5G wireless communication from IEEE and Transaction Antenna Propagation of December 2017, from where I have taken this diagram. Then broadband wireless communication. In broadband wireless communication, we have different types of communications, but you see, we can go in different paths to increase the efficiency. One is this path, one is another path. This path, definitely, this is very important things, that metamaterials or any materials, we call the advanced materials, can increase too much for the antenna efficiency and antenna activities, different. But there is another way, which is antenna techniques. But mostly antenna techniques nowadays are used because of the not so much developed this type of advanced materials. So in multiple antenna techniques, these are the different types of techniques are used, which I will describe. So the first technique which we describe, the antenna techniques for 4G, 5G cellular communications. Here again, that I will not describe individual antennas, but I will describe the type of antennas necessary. One is omnidirectional antenna or directional antenna in the base station, sector antenna in the base station. It is one technique. This is another technique, beam steering antenna. This is multi-beam antenna necessary. Some cases, this is smart antenna. We know the smart antenna is prescribed by International Telecom Union to use in 4G and beyond. Its advanced version, MIMO based or smart antenna based technique is SDMA antenna. Then there is MIMO, massive MIMO antennas. These are the different types of base station antennas which we need. In PCS, personal communication services, or MS means mobile station. For example, our mobile handset. These needs omnidirectional antenna. These needs multi-frequency antenna. These needs diversity antenna. Small size, lightweight antenna, low internal loss. Circuit loss must be very less. Reconfigurable antenna, yes, it is important. Antenna with very low specific absorption rate. You know, on all of your mobiles, it is specified the SAR. It is the health hazard. It's compared with the brain tissues. That SAR limit for FCC is 1.6 watt per kg, averaged over a volume of 1 gram of tissue. It is for 1 gram of brain tissue. Again, the unfortunate thing is that day by day all the handsets are becoming very small. Therefore, the companies are restricting the size of the antenna. In some cases, 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. So antenna, all the activities should be performed by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter space. Therefore, antenna design is limited by the handset manufacturers. Different company needs different types of antenna spacing and different types of antennas. Then why multiple antenna, not single antenna? Because a single antenna has low gain and is low required for cellular communication. Beam control is not possible by a single antenna. Beam shaping That means whether wide beam or small narrow beam necessary, that is for a single antenna not possible. Then the requirements for cellular networks, different types of antenna techniques, it is not possible at all, most of the cases using single antenna. But at the same time, when the number of antennas are used, it has some drawbacks also. These are the facts that hardware cost becomes very high. Power consumption increases. And one thing is that software defined radio, when it will be used in a full form, the antenna cannot be software defined because it is a real-time signal transmission and reception. Then antenna array, multiple antennas, many cases it is antenna array, some cases it may not be antenna array. So antenna array actually combination of antennas in order to increase gain, in order to tilt the radiation beam any desired direction, and in order to shape the beam. So here it is shown the linear antenna array in a line, planar antenna array in a plane, in a two-dimensional plane we call the 2D antenna array, then conformal or 3D antenna array. For example, on the missile, there is two antenna systems, one for transmission, one for reception. The missile is cylindrical, so it is on the cylindrical body. So this type of antennas we call it conformal antenna or 3D antenna. Then these are the techniques which will be described here. These techniques will be described here: beam steering antenna, diversity antenna techniques, sector antennas, MIMO antenna, smart antenna, SDMA antenna, and distributed antenna system. Antenna techniques in 4G and 5G cellular communication, as I told, that antennas may be two different categories. One is the antennas are antenna array. One is antennas are not antenna array, but individual antenna, number of antennas are there. For example, sector antenna, individual antennas, number of antennas, but they are not antenna array. And diversity antenna, they are not antenna array. MIMO antenna, SU MIMO, single user MIMO, is normally antennas are there. This antenna has no relation with this one. This antenna has no relation with this one. They are individual antennas. But if you see here, these antennas are formed on array. So this is antenna array. This is 10 element antenna array. So beam steering, smart antenna, SDMA antenna, massive MIMO system, mainly smart antenna based. These are the antenna arrays. Then beam steering antenna, I am not going to so many things, mathematics, that will be simple. Those who are studying antenna array, you will see the array factor is there. In array factor, you will find one thing which is known as progressive phase shift alpha. What is progressive phase shift? This is because all the antennas should be excited by current. The phase difference between the currents are known as the progressive phase shift. So all the currents, when you are feeding here, you see here it is 5 alpha, then here it is 6 alpha, then here it is 7 alpha. You see the alpha is the progressive phase shift. According to requirement of angle of beam formation, you can change the alpha, and this is changed by the phase shifters actually. Without phase shifters, it cannot be done. It can be done, but it is for a single beam. For example, one antenna structure you have designed for 15-degree beam tilting by a microstrip version. When you did it, it cannot tilt the beam 20-degree or 30-degree or 90-degree. No, not possible. But if you want to shift the beam in any desired direction anytime, then you have to use the phase shifters. The beam steering antenna, there are many applications. You know, this is basically phased array antenna. Main use is the radar and satellite communication. Radar and satellite cannot work without phased array antenna. So beam can be steered in any desired direction. These are some examples given related to cellular communication, that in order to keep connection, how the beam should be formed in vehicular technology. So these are the beams. They are forming beams whenever required in any desired direction. Beams are formed. Naturally, in these cases, very sharp form is necessary. But again, it is the one major drawback of phased array antenna is this: when the beam is tilted in any desired direction, then the side lobes, some of the side lobes are becoming very high, peak becoming very high comparable to main beam. We call those side lobes are the grating lobes. during the design of the antenna, it is necessary to minimize as low as possible, to keep as low as possible the grating lobes. These are undesired high interference creating in the practical scenario. These things I have added here because I have designed all these antenna arrays, phased array antenna. You know, antenna array design is very difficult. So this is one antenna which is designed at 4 gigahertz. It is simple phased array antenna. As I told, if it is for the 30-degree phase shift, if this is the length difference, means the phase difference is also there for 30 degree, but in any other angle it cannot tilt the beam. That means if this is the 0 degree, if this is the end fire direction, then the beam can be tilted in 30 degree in this direction only. In other direction, it is not possible. Similarly, this is also another for 30-degree beam tilting, but it is Chebyshev phased array. It is processed, we call the synthesized array. So here the circuit design is very important, very important, because circuit must be low loss, because it is for the research purpose. Therefore, that has not been taken care. You know, the power dividers are there, unequal power dividers. So unequal current will go. This is the equal power divider here. The same thing, you the power here, the matching impedance matching transformer is there. It is a 30 gigahertz at millimeter wave frequency band. It is a 30 gigahertz. You see, these are the antennas, 1 to 4 element antennas to tilt the beam by 30 degree. So these are the Chebyshev phased array, one at 6 gigahertz, one at 6 gigahertz, one at 30 gigahertz. This array design is very difficult problem practically. Then I will not describe so much about these things, only keeping one figure that I told the Butler matrix is hero for the antenna array design for the beam forming, because 99% cases all over the world people are using the Butler matrix. This is the combination, as I told, that the power divider and the phase shifters are there, which form beams in different directions. Then this is one scene I found in the comsol.com, that how beams are formed using Butler matrix. You see, this is the feed network. This is the feed network. These are the antennas. 1, 2, 3, 4 antennas are there. So these are forming beam in any direction. You see, beams are tilted in any desired directions. So this is actually simulated by COMSOL. You see, I have taken from COMSOL. This is the complex diagram. It is 8 cross 8 antennas are there, and 64 cross 64 Butler matrix are necessary for 8 cross 8. This is how complex for the design. You see, the beam is formed. This is the main beam. Beam is formed. You see, the beam is formed using, this is 8 cross 1. That means linear array. This is planar array. 8 cross 8, 64 elements, 64 cross 64 Butler matrix is necessary. Then we go for the description of diversity antenna techniques. Diversity antenna techniques is very common. Multiple antennas are used, but these antennas are not antenna array like before. These are the individual antennas. If number of antennas are used, you see, these are the number of antennas are used in order to enhance the performance in the receiving end, mainly at the receiving end. So if one signal is very bad, another signal may be good. Therefore, combine this together and then it should go to the receiver. And some distance should be maintained, because we want uncorrelated signals. Because if one signal is coming here and if one signal is coming here, we need cross correlation very high, auto correlation very less, because these two signals should not have similarity. Why similarity? Because if one signal is faded heavily, another signal may be good. Continue communication. Therefore, uncorrelated signals are necessary in diversity scheme. Therefore, there is space diversity. When some spacing is maintained, spacing more than coherence distance, you know, the coherence distance within which the antenna signals received by the antennas are similar. So it should be more than that distance, should be dissimilar. Then we have the pattern diversity. What is pattern diversity? As I have shown earlier, that most of the times you are receiving N-loss signal. N-loss means non-line of sight. From your place, you are not able to see the tower. Then signal can come after reflection from the floor, from the roof, from the window, from the door, from the wall. So signal is coming from the different directions. So your handset or PCS must be capable of accepting signal from any direction. So if signal is coming from this direction, the system is receiving. If signal is coming from this direction, signal is receiving. If after reflection from the window, signal is coming in this direction, it is receiving. If from the floor, the signal is coming in this direction, it is receiving. So the performance is very good at the receiving end by the pattern diversity. We call also angle diversity. Then the polarization diversity, different polarized waves are used by the diversity technique. For example, RHCP, LHCP, or vertical polarization, horizontal polarization is needed. So two types of antennas are used there. There is one diversity which improves the capacity in cellular communication, which is known as the transmit diversity, where the antennas have sufficient role here. The antennas are the transmitting and transmit copies of same data to the receiving antenna. Same data they are transmitting. Therefore, it is reducing fading and better SNR is there. This diagram shows that in many of the mobiles, two antennas are there, which we call the planar F antenna or planar inverted F antenna. So this is you see like one English F but inverted. English F but inverted. So therefore it is inverted F antenna. Since it is planar microstrip version, it is known as planar. One is for the feeding, another is for the either shorting or for some active device. So two antennas are there to enhance the performance. This is we call the diversity antennas in mobile handset. Then we have another antenna techniques which is known as sector antennas. Now what is sector antenna? Because total zone 360 degrees divided by 3 sectors. You see here one sector is there, sector B, sector A, sector C. One antenna takes responsibility of one sector for the communication. Another antenna takes responsibility of communication for this sector. Another antenna takes responsibility of communication of this sector. So these sector antennas are used. Generally, directional antennas having radiation pattern like a sector covering a portion of a circumference is used here. Many types of sector antennas are there: 3 sector, 4 sector, 6 sector, 12 sector antennas respectively. Beams are always tilted downwards because the subscribers are towards the ground. Here it is shown that how the 3 sector and this is the 6 sector cell like this. But the problem is there for the sector antenna, that it is a space in the boundary level. In this level, you see that boundary level, the radiation beam of sector A and radiation beam of sector C are superposing each other. So care should be taken not to increase so much interference level. Similarly, at the boundary between B and C, in the B and C, there will be spillover of radiation beam from one cell to another cell. So this is because in the space, it is not possible to restrict it at the boundary level. But bit error is very much increased and frequency reuse is very much done. How frequency reuse increasing the capacity? Suppose there are 100 channels given to this tower. Now the beam is only in this direction for A antenna in the A side. So it can use total 100 channels. Similarly, this beam in this direction, total given 100, but this beam in this direction, so it can use 100 channel. So it becomes, in the 3 sectors, it becomes 300 channels. Though 100 channels are given to the base station, but by using sector antenna, 3 sector antenna, it becomes 300. So huge capacity is there. Capacity means a huge number of subscribers can be accommodated using 100 channels to convert into 300. But again, there is some problem. This spillover problem can be reduced up to a certain portion. As I told that, you see the array of dipole antennas, these are radiation beam towards the ground. Radiation beam towards the ground. This is actually array of dipole with one back reflector, because dipole is radiating in the backside also, like figure 8 radiation pattern. So backside reflection going to the front side direction, and it is covered by one generally non-metallic, some fiber, some polymerized structure. Its name is radome. Radome cover is there because in order to protect from moisture, from dust, from rain, because if those things are continuously day by day or accumulated on the antenna, then antenna characteristics will be changed. Therefore, radome is there. Inside the radome, generally the dipole array is there. So this spillover of radiation band can be reduced using process we call this synthesized radiation pattern. You see, this is blue one, actual radiation pattern of the antenna, this type. But if it is increasing, it will spill over in this direction to the next sector one. So how to reduce? Then it is better to restrict it. So in order to restrict it, you see that the desired flat beam must be like this. This is the desired from here to here. Then if you optimize perfectly, you will not find, but this green color, which is optimized, you will find this green color. You will find this green color to optimize the radiation pattern. You know, the Fourier transform method that may be used for the synthesized array using optimization techniques that can generate it. So it is very important to generate this flat top sector pattern. Then multiple input, multiple output antenna technology. You know, in 4G, 5G, and tomorrow all the antenna, because day by day subscribers, not only subscriber, the demand of the people increasing. Demand of the people means people are thinking that everything, all the multimedia services should be through mobile. Therefore, there is no other way to use the MIMO technique. Now, MIMO technique is going to be obsolete day by day. People are increasing. Why for MIMO technique? They are going for a massive MIMO technique, where hundreds of thousands of antennas are used with smart antenna technology. That is equal to massive MIMO technique. We call it massive MIMO technique. So that is used there. Then you say the MIMO wireless system is the special multiplexing. Actually, the number of antennas are there, but single user MIMO, these are the individual antennas, not antenna array. These are the individual antennas. They can transmit power in any direction. Therefore, when they are sending power in one mobile is receiving one in the receiving end, one terminal is receiving number of beams. So if one or two beams are bad, so another beam will be good. Again, the coherence distance, we need dissimilar, because this is one basic, this is another form of nothing but diversity. So they need the separation between two antennas should be more than the coherence distance. Coherence distance means within which the signals are equal nature. So they want high cross correlation of the signals. This is one diagram I have shown to show you that this is the MIMO antenna. As the report says, it is from the Australian side, that Vodafone company in Australia installed one MIMO tower. So this is example of MIMO tower. All these things are, you see that the antennas, dipole antennas covered by radome. These are the dipole antennas covered by radome. Then I am not going to the mathematical part. You know, the MIMO capacity is there. For me, it is important that if the number of antenna elements are increasing, MIMO channel capacity increasing. That is important for me for presentation. Now, the problem is this: for most of the receiving platform, it is very difficult to install more than two antennas. Very difficult. Therefore, channel capacity is limited because a large number of antennas cannot be installed in the receiving end, because the receiving system is a very small system. This is shows by Iskra, Slovenia, that this is 30 element each for the MIMO antenna. Here 30 elements are there. You see one like this, 30 elements are there. This side 15, this side 15. So this is one antenna with accessories. This is another antenna with the feeding and accessories, all these things. This is one MIMO antenna. Then you saw there are different types of MIMO antenna. One MIMO antenna is very common, very useful, which is known as FD MIMO, full dimension MIMO. What is the full dimension MIMO? In full dimension MIMO, the beamforming network is capable of rotating the beam in horizontal direction and also in vertical direction. So the total 3D coverage is possible. So this becomes useful for 4G LTE system where either passive or active antenna. Active antenna means diodes or any active device used there in the antenna system. So, so the radiation pattern can be changed in vertical direction. Radiation pattern can be changed in horizontal direction also. So this is showing the radiation pattern in the horizontal direction can be changed by the beamforming network. Radiation pattern in the vertical direction can be changed, elevation and azimuth direction. This is the role of antenna here, how antennas improve the 3D coverage in the MIMO technology. This technology, because of the antenna, MIMO is fully antenna technology. Its name is full dimension MIMO. Then there is one MIMO which multi-user MIMO. Ordinary MIMO is known as SU MIMO. Ordinary MIMO is SU MIMO. This is SU MIMO, single user MIMO. Multi-user MIMO is this. In multi-user MIMO, antenna system can form beams of multiple users at a time. At a single time, they can use multiple beams. So it increases the capacity and the performance of the total MIMO system. Then the massive MIMO antenna technology. Massive MIMO, as I told, hundreds of thousands of antennas will be used there in the system. So this is the transmitting end. You see that this is antenna, large number of antenna. Then the smart antenna technology will be used, which I will describe in next, the smart antenna technology. Smart antenna technology will form beam only towards the desired direction. This is the target antenna. The signal should be transmitted here to this antenna. So this beam will be very narrow beam, with very low side lobe level, because it is the cause of interference will be produced. So this side is transmitting side, this is the receiving side. So this is one diagram only I wanted to show, that radiation beam of 5G massive MIMO antenna system. It is found as the Altair USA, that how the radiation pattern from they have generated. In the right side, this is the Douglas company of Ireland, the 64 element phased array antenna, massive phased array antenna they are using for the MIMO, for massive MIMO. Antenna technique for long-term evolution and LTE are not very much different from 4G technique or 3G technique. Only these are they are using all over the world number of frequency bands. Then the problem is this, that if you are traveling from one country to another country, you must have capability, your mobile must have capability to access the different types of frequency country-wise. So this is the LTE performance. Since it is not a cellular communication presentation, so I am not going to describe everything about the LTE performance and etc. But what are the main antenna techniques which enhances the LTE? One is multiple antenna techniques, which is MIMO technique. This is one thing. One is diversity antenna techniques. So some of the antennas like PFO, electrically small antennas, these are very useful for the LTE systems to use. Then the smart antenna technology. This is 4G almost made mandatory to use the smart antenna technology, because huge capacity improvement in the cellular communication. Phased array, adaptive array, not so much smart. Maybe we can call it semi-smart antenna. But the smart antenna is totally smart because of the digital signal processing unit used there. This is the signal processing array actually. So what smart antenna is doing, instead of sending total power all over the space, they are detecting the arrival of the signal to the base station and towards the user there. After direction of arrival estimation, they are sending the signal towards the user. That is, we call the retro directive. They are receiving some request and they are finding the location of the mobile and they are sending power towards that mobile instead of sending. So instead of sending, if they are not sending power over the zone like this, no. If they are sending, you see maximum power is wasted. This is not in use in between from here to here, not in use. This power not in use. So they are only sending power to it, and this is the interference. They are creating one null towards the interference also, not to use the interference. They are using digital signal processing unit. It is shown here in the antenna array system. to produce these things. They can produce a number of nulls, number of interference to reduce the interference from number of users. They can produce number of beams also, large number of beams simultaneously they can produce. That is possible by the smart antenna. But definitely the beamforming network will do practically in terms of design. Using some signal processing algorithm, it can be done. So this is one smart antenna technique that though we are forming beam, but practically the beam is not like this. Practically many shadows are there. If the human-made structures are there, trees are there. So practically it is not that the smart antenna is solving all the problems. No, never. Because there are also non-line of sight propagation. There are also reflection, scattering, fading, etc. Everything possible there. Then this is one, the RF module. You see multiple RF modules are there. Signal processing units there, normal modulation, demodulation systems are there. These are the radiation beams to user 1, user 2. This is showing that the antenna which is developed, they are saying CTU, this is City University of Hong Kong. They have one project, they are showing that they have developed this thing. Here everything is shown. For that reason I kept it side by side. You see these modules are here. These modules are here in this place. All these things. Then you go to the antenna. You see this is the antenna array. These are the antennas. These are the antennas. Smart antenna arrays. These are the antenna arrays are there. Therefore, I kept it side by side to find one better view of the antenna structure when it is formed, when it is designed, how it looks. Then smart antenna 2 times, switch beam antenna and adaptive antenna. Switch beam antenna only in pre-decided direction it sends signals, generates beam, but multiple beam can be generated. But the adaptive antenna can generate in any desired direction. Then we are going for the different type for the description of this smart antenna. In smart antenna, you see that why we design the desired direction of main beam, lowest side lobe level, all this can be designed using smart antenna. The signal processing algorithm like LMS and its variants, RLS, SMI, CMA, all these types of and many other combination of these things can be used for the better performance of the beamforming of smart antenna. Simulation is done is like this, that you select the main beam and the null direction and the array factor. Then you use LMS algorithm, for example, if you signal processing algorithm, combine these two. After combination, calculate array factor. After calculating array factor, you take the normalized radiation pattern. In simulation, this is the simple thing, but the program is not very simple, because with the antenna programming, antenna array programming, you have to combine the signal processing programming also, signal processing part also. There are some results. I am not describing so much. This is the array factor for a linear array. So this is one linear array. You see the null. You see that this is the main beam is formed here. Null is formed here. So the side lobe level must be restricted. Here side lobe level is very high. So this is the formation of beam formation of the smart antenna. This is for this beam formation of a planar antenna, where number of antennas are there, 16 cross 16 planar antenna. This is the main beam. Then we have done some work for the millimeter wave signal processing, millimeter wave smart antenna design at 28 gigahertz, which is prescribed by ITU to use in the 5G communication. So we have taken microstrip array. So after taking microstrip array, linear microstrip array, we have designed this. This is you see the main beam, and this is again shown the main beam is here. So we did all these things. These are some simulation results. Then we go for the SDMA technique, because it is only for 50 minutes, as I told, because I have not sufficient time to describe all these things in detail, because it takes too much time. This SDMA technique, its capacity is very high. What is SDMA technique? Same frequency, because frequency is the main resource for the cellular communication. Large number of frequency channels are not available for any base station. Therefore, it is always motive that how to use the same frequency large number of times. This is one SDMA technique, space division. That means total geographical space is divided in as a angular positions, so that there will be no interference. Very much directive narrow beam will be produced towards the mobiles with the same frequency. Here it is shown that the F4 frequency is used 3 times in the different geographical locations. So this is very useful antenna technique for 4G and 5G mobile communication. This is MIMO based or smart antenna based wireless communication system. So this antenna technique is very useful for the cellular communication. Then we go for the 5G millimeter wave mobile communication. You see, millimeter wave means we say microwave roughly 1 megahertz to 1 gigahertz to 30 gigahertz. Then if it is 1 gigahertz to 30 gigahertz, then after 30 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz, we call it roughly the millimeter wave frequency, because wavelength becomes of the order of millimeter. Therefore, it is the millimeter wave frequency. That frequency band is totally unused, except military people till date not so much used. Satellite communication they are using, but this is the space communication, not the terrestrial communication. Therefore, almost unused. 5G is told to use this frequency band. In millimeter use, huge frequencies are available. But the problem is also there. Problem is this, that you see from 30 gigahertz, you see from 30 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. This frequency band is millimeter wave frequency band. But the millimeter wave frequency is very much absorbed by the atmospheric water vapor and oxygen. Therefore, at 60 gigahertz frequency band, it can travel only 1.5 kilometer, but it is not drawback. It is the advantage. Why? It can travel 1.5 kilometer. That means it is not disturbing to other cell. At the same time, the security of the main cell is increasing. That means if one cell is there, the signal can travel up to this part only, up to this part only. If the next, this is the one cell. Inside the cell, it is attenuates at the boundary. Then if another cell is boundary is there, its wave can go up to this part. Its wave can go up to this part at millimeter wave frequency. So it's in this zone is remaining, so that the signal is not spilling over to the next zone. Therefore, this is we call the short distance communication is possible. This is the different windows which can be used for the millimeter frequencies. That this is for the horizontal propagation for the terrestrial purpose, not for the satellite communication. That why millimeter wave? Because large band, as I told, large bandwidth available, and security becomes high, privacy becomes very high because it cannot travel to the next cell. Then most part of the millimeter spectrum are unused. Then efficient frequency reuse due to high attenuation possible, because it will not disturb to the next cell or to the next geographical place. Practical antenna and device implementations are possible, though initially it becomes very costly. Then these are the antennas for millimeter wave mobile communication. You see that this is the base station antenna one type. This is we call the serial feed, parallel feed microstrip antenna, millimeter wave antenna. These are the different types of antenna found for the different sources, different companies. Then some of the millimeter wave services, one is, this is old thing which is known as the LMDS, local multiple distribution systems, that for the village areas where the infrastructure is not there. So up to here, the signal is going to the line, then from the antenna, you transmit it, use millimeter wave technology, and it will go to the room to the villages. It will be distributed. So it is distributing system. Another system, this system is going to be obsolete day by day, but till date in many countries it is remaining. It is known as wireless local loop or wireless or radio local loop, where the millimeter wave frequency is used. The steerable phased array antenna, both the cases are used. Then the system is wireless personal area network, which we call the WPAN. This is already prescribed. Millimeter wave frequencies are prescribed by IEEE 802.16, IEEE 802.16, IEEE 802.15c task group 3C. They have described the use of millimeter wave frequencies. So generally phased array antenna with very narrow beam is necessary. So one can communicate from any direction to his home also. If somebody is traveling, so from home it is possible to communicate from here by narrow beam. It is not very large distance because number of towers are there. because at millimeter frequency, long distance not possible. So towers will communicate one by one in a relay system. Another is high altitude platform HAP, which is very cost effective compared to satellite communication. And this antenna uses all types of antennas are necessary. Low gain antenna array, high gain antenna array, phased array with multi-frequency antenna array, a multi-beam antenna array, smart antenna, all these things are necessary for the HAP. These are the HAPs. Like balloon, after 18 kilometers, 25 kilometers. So you, from the ground station, one can forget the satellite, though it is satellite communication. So the data will be linked to the satellite, then everything will come to the HAP. The people here only will know the HAP, high altitude platform, not the satellite. Satellite is at 36,000 kilometer, 20,000 kilometer, but it is only 18 to 25 kilometer where the wind is very small. So there is another type is intelligent transport system, we call the ITS. The intelligent transport system using the millimeter of frequencies at 40 gigahertz, 50 gigahertz, 60 gigahertz in different countries they are using. On the roadside, at a short distance, the signal can be transmitted from the different types of antennas. So antenna may be installed in here, antenna may be installed in the roadside, everything possible, and the communication is possible. Then another thing is enhanced mobility in 5G and beyond, 5G and beyond, that the simultaneous transmission of data. That if you are traveling by a high-speed train, that you are losing connection. So if, for example, if you are traveling, you are connecting here, but if when you have reached here, another beam is waiting for you. This beam is waiting for you. When you have reached here, then this beam is waiting for you. So there is no loss of connectivity at all, because some of the trains are very, very high speed. Then we have distributed antenna system. This is very useful to increase the actually to increase the coverage area. That is better. If one wireless system is there, one tower is there, how to increase the coverage area? That is the distributed antenna system. The antennas are distributed. Maybe it is indoor, maybe outdoor. There are different types of in which positions antenna will position optimization is necessary. If you place the antennas, then in which position keeping the antennas, everywhere the signal to noise ratio will be above the threshold level. That is the main task. So this thing is known as distributed antenna system. Power optimization is necessary because it will cover continuously. This is known as distributed antenna system. This is actually main motto is to increase the coverage area for indoor and outdoor wireless communication. Then different types of performance of the different types of antennas. This is the we call the beam steering antenna, then diversity antenna, then sector antenna, then enhanced capacity of the antennas. So smart antenna system technology, the power saving, increased signal detection, nulling out co-channel interferences, noise, jamming suppression possible. SDMA antennas, huge network capacity increase is possible. Distributed antenna system coverage area is very high and higher cost for additional infrastructure. Some of the research issues for antenna techniques for 5G communications are, one is the massive MIMO system. Massive MIMO system, one is the beam shaping for the sector antenna, mutual coupling of smart antenna for a densely populated area, capacity enhancement of smart antenna for SDMA application, then diversity antenna technique to enhance performance of 4G communication, narrowband multiple beam antenna arrays, which is very much important for point-to-point, point-to-multipoint communication, high bandwidth antennas for LDA application, because LTE using different many frequency bands. So some antenna must cover very high frequency band, wide frequency band. Then antenna techniques for 5G millimeter wave communication. Another is the distributed antenna system. These are some of the antenna techniques which will be useful for the further research, which are actually research issues for cellular communication. So some of the important papers I have included here. Some papers are really very important, because in 2005 I have found one basic paper, you see, by Anderson in 2001. in wireless personal communication. That is very important paper. Then some papers that millimeter wave antenna for system for future, that's number 9, future 5G. That is IJAP paper, International Journal of Antenna and Wave Propagation. Then another is towards green communication, 5G communications. Survey on beamforming concept. This is of 2021, recently published it in January 2021. So if any question, please ask. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Host,
Thank
can you
you so
please
much.
unmute? Any question, anybody can ask, please.
Yeah, I would like to ask a question, sir, please.
Yes.
First of all, thank you, dear sir.
Your voice is not coming, please.
For that wonderful for taking us through. So you can hear me now?
Yes.
You can hear me now. Okay. So first of all, I
Yes.
want to thank you for that wonderful enlightenment that you have given on the various research issues, particularly, and also that elaborate presentation that you have given on the MIMO. And I think you will be happy to know that even Satya has joined. So me and Satya were the research
Yes, yes,
students of Dr.
yes,
J.S. Roy in VIT
yes.
Mesra. Yeah. So the question is, sir, as a future research work, if the miniaturization technique is achievable, if we can go for good miniaturization techniques, can we have more multiple antennas in the mobile stations also? Is it a good idea?
Multiple antennas in the mobile station. At present, multi-frequency necessary. Multiple antennas in the mobile station is very, very rare. It is not necessary at present. Multiple beam antenna. Multiple beam. Is it multiple beam antenna?
No, I'm asking now, right now, only the 2x2 antenna is only possible in a mobile station, isn't it? You had also mentioned.
If company permits,
Okay.
because all the devices are miniaturized, therefore space for antenna in any device is very less. I don't know whether antenna array can be accommodated. Yes, if frequency is the millimeter wave frequency, then antenna size will be of the order of several millimeters. Then it is possible. Otherwise, in the present day, when the antenna size is of the order of centimeter, it is not possible to one antenna array like 4 element, 6 element, very difficult.
Okay. I only wanted to know if it is a good
Practically,
research
you can
direction, if we can go for miniaturization.
you can do for research work, no problem. But but for practical application, it is very difficult to find that because only for 2x2 there will be some feed network and etc. It will take space.
Right, sir. Right. So
It's
thank
very
you. Thank you,
difficult to
sir.
find space.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I am Pratishtha.
Yes.
It is a very good conversation with you, sir. Thank you for your elaborated and very knowledgeable presentation. Sir, actually, I want to know one thing regarding the upcoming research issue, sir. The thing is that I want to know that is there any scope for terahertz devices for 5G applications or massive MIMO
Definitely.
using massive MIMO
Definitely.
applications?
Definitely. This is very important area because people are saying massive MIMO will be very much effective for 5G communication. Now, in 5G communication, what is this? In 5G communication, they are telling the mostly mobile communication will be in the region of millimeter wave frequency. So if millimeter wave frequency, they will search for millimeter and terahertz tomorrow. So
Okay,
this
sir.
is definitely one good issue, good research issue.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And thanks to all the participants. We have shared the feedback form in the chat. So if everyone can fill that.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Thank you for your wonderful session.
Thanks to IEEE Malabar section to give the scopes to deliver this lecture definitely.
Okay, yeah, it's obvious on behalf of IEEE, we thank you for giving us a wonderful section. You had covered a lot of area.
And
Lot
at
of
the
area
same
within 1
time,
hour.
at the same time, I thank to Dr. Milind Thomas, who is my PhD students and MTech students, for this to arrange this talk.
Yeah. He only introduced you to me. So
Yes,
I thank
he is
Dr.
my
Milind.
MTech students. He is my PhD students.
Yeah.
PhD
He told
MTech.
about that. Yeah, he told about that. He only introduced you to me so that I could invite you for this talk.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, sir. For on behalf of IEEE Malabar Substation,
Thank
we
you.
thank you for giving
Thank to
a wonderful talk.
all the respected teachers and my students and other students who have joined here. Special thank definitely to my friend Muhammad Ramal from Beirut and 10-12 students who joined from Beirut. This is very much special thanks to Muhammad Ramal to arrange 10-12 students from Beirut to join in this program.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
I must
thank you,
thank
Zed.
number of times. After a long time, I am seeing Muhammad Ramal and he has joined here. He is my very nice friend.
I'm very happy also, dear friend. I'm very happy and very glad to see you today.
Okay, best wishes, Muhammad.
Very well.
I'm also happy that you are here, like to be part of IEEE Malabar subsection. Mohammed Ramal, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.